Hello and welcome to City Corner. I'm your host, Todd Blackstock. On today's show, we've got Evan Tomlinson Weintraub in studio to discuss Circus Harmony's new production. Plus, magician Brent Loewenstein will be in the house to show us some fun magic tricks and much more. So stay with us for City Corner, coming up next on STLTV. Welcome to the show. Our first guest today is the director of Circus Harmony's new production called Unbound. At this time, we'd like to welcome Evan Tomlinson Weintraub, the City Corner. Evan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Todd. It's great to be here.
You know, I wanted to make sure I got your name right. That's a very aristocratic, important type of name. Anytime you've got three names, you know, you must be pretty important.
Well, I try to be. I've definitely been in the industry for the last 11 years working professionally, and so I'm trying to really make a name for myself now. Not as just a performer, but also as a director and a coach and a designer. So trying to keep it strong.
Yeah, so you've been in this business for quite some time right now, and I guess first of all I should say welcome to St. Louis.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here.
You know, you've been in Canada for some time, from what I understand, but before the show you discussed being from California and Canada. Now, were you born in the States or Canada?
Yeah, so originally born in the San Francisco Bay Area, and that's actually where I got my start in circus at the Circus Center in San Francisco. And then I went to the East Coast for college, but found my way to Montreal to the National Circus School there, where I really started my professional career as a performer. And then have really settled in Montreal because that's sort of what we consider like the mecca or the center of the circus world, especially with giant industries, big companies like Cirque du Soleil, Seven Fingers of the Hand, and Cirque Éloise, who are headquartered there in Montreal. Yeah,
in Montreal, Canada. It has some similarities to St. Louis. I mean, St. Louis started out as a French settlement. Absolutely. And was owned by the French. So, you know, there's a lot of wee-wee around here and the different cities and things.
Absolutely.
But you're a circus creator. And most recently, you were in Canada with the Cirque du Soleil. What does it take and how do you get involved with the circus? You know, when you're growing up, you just decide that you want to be in the circus someday? Is it a passion you have?
It is a passion of mine. And I think what's really interesting about circus is that it's sort of a catch-all art. You can really take people who are excited about this acrobatic-ness of it and take it from dance or take it from acting or take it from even fashion designers have come in and work with circus. I think the wonderful thing is that you can get started from anywhere and really come in and really explore what it means to put on a show. And so it definitely takes dedication. Like I said, I went to the National School in Montreal, which is a 3-year training program. But you don't have to do that. If you want to start performing, you can start performing.
I guess circuses have really changed and gone full circle from like in the 1920s and the 1800s, and when it was more of like an exhibition. You'd have different looking people. The 1904 World's Fair here, they had a circus and they would they would just feature different people in expositions. But now there's training and there's schools and things like that, so it's really become quite a production and not just some fly-by-night coming through town.
Oh no, it's definitely, I consider a lot of my peers professional athletes, and so these are people who train for years and years and years to be at the pinnacle of their craft. And so it really is a full-time job, a fully immersion into the industry, and sort of people who love it, and they stay with it, and then the people who dabble with it, it's definitely a fun thing to do. But to really be at that high level, you really have to dedicate yourself to it.
And the schools, the Circus Harmony here in St. Louis at the City Museum is quite a production there. And it's basically a school and a production facility. Can you give us a little bit of background on how it works?
Absolutely. So Circus Harmony is St. Louis's only social circus, which means that they're reaching out to kids and adults. Actually, anyone between ages 3 and 93 are welcome to take classes at Circus Harmony. Yeah, we got some videos going there. And it's a place that prides itself on teaching the art of life through circus, which means that we're challenging people to come in, expand their horizons, and learn life skills through circus, working together in a group, challenging yourself, perseverance, artistry, and creativity. It's really a space to come in, especially at City Museum, which, as local St. Louis people know is a pretty incredible space. And so to have art happening within that beautiful art building, I think it's a really special place.
So they have a lot of smaller performances there, and they're mainly done by, I guess, kids, 10 through 16? Is that kind of the age group? Because I'm thinking you're going to see, professional performers and, trapeze artists and things, but it's a learning place for kids, and what a great place to cut your teeth.
Absolutely. It's like I said, anyone between the ages 3 to the oldest student was 93 can come and take classes. We're actually enrolling right now for the spring session, and classes will start at the end of January. But it really is a place where every Saturday and Sunday you can come see the kids perform. Our main troupe, the St. Louis Arches, are performing anywhere between the ages of 11 to 18. But then there's also professionals that do come through. There are the coaches who perform in the ring at City Museum. It's really a space to come and sort of see what the world of circus can offer.
Now, are you recruiting kids and performers? Because I was also going to ask you, what's the criteria? Because I would think being a gymnastic enthusiast, very into calisthenics and very limber would help a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, having natural body awareness is great, but circus is really a space for everyone. Everyone is welcome to come take classes, regardless of their skill level, regardless of their fitness level, and come and learn and challenge themselves to either get in better shape or just learn something new.
We've got a fantastic performance coming up. We're very excited. Coming up in February, called Unbound, and you are the guest director for this. Can you tell us about how you got involved with this, and how you're grooming the kids, and what should we expect?
So Jessica invited me, Jessica Hentoff, the founder and executive director of Circus Harmony, invited me to come be their artist in residence. So not only am I designing this show Unbound as director, but also the writer of the show, I'm also helping coach the kids and teach them the skills that I learned growing up, going through school and throughout my career. And I think it's a really exciting opportunity because my style is very different than the style we see here at Circus Harmony. Here at Circus Harmony, we sort of see what we consider traditional circus. If you think back, like you were talking about in the 1920s, the ring with the horses and sort of the human cannon, right? Things like that, where I'm much more of sort of, as I told the kids, Cirque du Soleil and a bit weirder. My work is a little bit more contemporary, a little bit more grounded in the theater and dance world. And so I'm telling a story through movement and not necessarily just putting on a show. And so when I asked the kids sort of what the theme they wanted it to be, because it's very important to include them in what they wanted to do, they said, we want to do fairy tales. And so we thought, all right, fairy tales, let's see if we can turn these fairy tales on their head, sort of make a story out of meeting these fairy tale characters that we know and love, but how do we make it interesting? How do we make a challenge out of telling a different story? And so that's what we're doing, and as you said, we open February 1st. Wow,
it sounds like, looking at some of the video, there's like a lot of flying through the airs, what they call the flying beasts, hooping princesses.
Absolutely.
Hoop diving. Let's go into that a little bit.
Yeah, so actually there's, as I've written it, there are 10 major acts throughout the show. And the beauty of Circus Harmony is that they're teaching these kids a range of circus skills. So not only are you doing ground acrobatics, like partner acrobatics and hoop diving, which is my specialty, but also aerials like sling, tissue, teardrop trapeze, aerial cradle, and kind of everything in between. It's a whole spectrum of circus arts, and it's really a feast for the eyes.
So every director wants to put their stamp on a production that they're involved with. What does Evan put on, what do you bring to Circus Harmony and Unbound in particular, that really, shows your personality?
I think, like I said, I come from a more theatrical and contemporary world. And so my big thing is performance and character. And so while, when we have, like, for example, we have our main character, Dot, who I'm using as short for Dorothy, sort of a riff on the character from the very famous Wizard of Oz. I wanted to make sure that this was a fully fleshed out character that not only did amazing circus stuff, but also could communicate her story, her journey through this show that sort of made people recognize things in themselves that they might have gone through in their own life. And so it's really important to bring that fully fleshed out character to life.
So what's some of the exciting elements that, that you take away from it once you see like the production, because at first, everybody's doing their walkthroughs and they're getting their lines down.
Absolutely.
But once the production starts and you're ready to roll, how do you feel?
I think I got into circus because I love the idea of community and the group aspect. And so while I might not be performing with these kids on stage with them, I'm really having a lot of joy seeing them thrive and figure things out on their own and really get that applause.
Yeah.
Helping people soar, as Circus Harmony likes to say, is one of the greatest rewards in this industry.
So what happens when they graduate from this situation here, Circus Harmony, and they've done some of these different productions like Unbound? What's next for the performers?
It really depends on what they want to do with it. I have in my career run into people from Circus Harmony who have gone off to perform with Cirque du Soleil and major companies. They've really taken circus as their career. And some people don't. Some people see it as a really great place to sort of be creative, but it may not be the thing for them. And I think what's really nice, like we're doing here in Circus Harmony, is that all the skills that you learn are applicable to any part of your life. Working as a group is so important for any industry.
Was there anything else you want to bring up or mention? It's like if someone wants to get involved with your performance or with Circus Harmony, what would they do?
Well, if they want to buy tickets, tickets are $20, and they not only have tickets to the show, but it includes admission to City Museum as well. You can find those tickets at circusharmony.org. And that's where you can sign up for classes, and classes start at the end of January. So we're excited to have you come through our doors.
Evan, thank you so much for joining us here today on City Corner. We really appreciate it. And folks, get out there. You're going to want to see Unbound over at Circus Harmony. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, magician Brent Loewenstein will join us with some magic up his sleeve, so stick around.
I'm Belinda, and this is Willard, and we were adopted in 2021. When we first met Todd, he was singing a song, and I was like, wow, look at this kid with the biggest smile, and he has a big heart to match.
The energy you give Todd, you get it back from Todd.
Yeah.
Todd's a joy.
Yes, he
Todd's
is.
really is a great joy.
I love him. You and you.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Hey, welcome back to City Corner. I'm your host, Todd Blackstock. Joining us now in our second segment today on City Corner is magician extraordinaire Brent Loewenstein. Brent, thank you so much for coming here today. It's a pleasure. I actually saw you perform a couple of years in a row on New Year's Day parties at our friend Nancy Fox's house. And I thought, what a great segment it would be to bring you on here to do a couple magical tricks and talk a little magician stuff. So how did you get involved with being a magician? Is it something you've always wanted to do?
I just loved it since I was a little boy. It just resonated with me. I remember being in the hospital. I was 5 or 6, and someone got me a little magic kit, and I just loved it. And I remember looking up books on magic in grade school, so it really always resonated with me. Then when I was 12, someone showed me a trick, and that's when that's when I was bit by the magic bug. So I guess you could say I was 12 when I started, but sort of interested before that.
So when did you realize you were kind of getting good at it, and you were, kind of getting the performances and the tricks and the sleight of hands past everyone?
Well, there's 2 answers. One is I'm still realizing it. So that's a philosophical answer. A practical answer is I don't know. I think probably my mom said, how did you do that? So.
That's funny. My grandma got me a doll, and I was trying to be a ventriloquist as a kid. It didn't work out too good, and my mom thought it was kind of creepy, so they kind of disappeared.
It disappeared.
So before the show, you did something fun. You did a little trick for the crew here, and you're standing over there with a piece of paper, and all of a sudden this bowling ball dropped out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere.
What happened?
I think the impossible happened, because that's what magicians do. We do the impossible, and that's what's so special about the art is we do what you can't do. So you can't do something, but I do it. And then afterwards, well, you can't do that, but he just did it. But you can't do it. And it's just like a collision in people's minds of 2 totally opposite worlds, and people are just speechless.
I don't see or hear about a lot of magicians in the St. Louis area. So you're probably the top dog right now, because you're definitely probably the most famous magician in the area.
Yeah, I think people tell me that when magicians come up in their conversation or who they should hire as a magician, it's always my name. They tell me that. I don't know, but...
Look at the reaction right here at these kids. You must have just dropped a bombshell there and done something pretty neat, because you've got a whole room full of kids right there. Looks like students that you just blew their mind.
Yep, they just, those were at grad night. So in the middle of the night at these high school lock-ins, the night they graduate, and I'll do magic for a few hours at a table, and they come to me. They can watch for however long they want. Sometimes they'll watch for a couple hours. They'll just sit there for a couple hours straight. And there's all these other activities for them to do, all these games, all this food. And they'll sit there and watch for a couple hours. It's like the coolest thing. But I think that was the last routine that I did for them that night. Oh, that clip, I made a butterfly appear on the back of her hand. And here, watch this. She's sort of hyperventilating.
Well, you really got to that one, huh?
She loved it, yes. And
it looks like there's a lot of love for you when you pull off some of these stunts. What's your audience? It looks like high school lock-ins and things like that are a great opportunity to bring you in. But what are some of the other, like work programs or picnics? What's your big thing?
Exactly. Most of my work is corporate work. So company events, sales meetings, trade show exhibits, where I'm there to draw a crowd to the booth and incorporate the company's, my client's message into my magic. So the magic is sort of a vehicle to get across their message. So.
Now, well, I've watched you perform several times, and you seem to keep the audience in check. You know, it's kind of like there's got to be some ground rules, especially when it's New Year's Day and people were up all night and they may have a Bloody Mary, a couple mimosas in them already. They can probably get a little mouthy and they think they're going to solve the tricks. And you have a very deft way of keeping your crowds in order.
Well, that's,
Is that part of the ground rules? So it's like, if you can't control the room, then you lose it.
Yeah, I'm very loose on New Year's Day, and no, those are just the comebacks. I'm not very, very rigid. I like the audience to interact with me. It's fascinating because I'll be in the middle of a routine and someone will yell something out. Here's the thing, I have the comebacks.
Yeah.
So I say, what's funny, what's worked before.
Put them in their place.
I put them in their place, but I don't look at it as putting them.
Well, there's also a respect, though. When people are there and someone's performing, they should give you their full attention.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be talking to their kids
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But it's neat. I really enjoy what you do. And you've got a couple of tricks for us today. Can you maybe do the first one for us and maybe give us a little lead-in?
Sure, this is really cool. It's do you like rope tricks and coin tricks?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so all I do are card tricks.
Okay, well then we'll have to just segue over to that.
So card tricks. So I reversed a card in here as a prediction. All the cards are face up. One card is face down. Okay, you can name any card. Just name any card. Hopefully my prediction will match whatever you say. You could say anything.
Okay, how about...
Hold this in your hands. I don't want you to think I'm going to do any sleight of hand.
Okay, Queen of Hearts.
That's a great card. That's a great card. I haven't heard that since like an hour ago.
Is that the most popular one?
No. People say all kinds of cards.
Okay, I can change it if you want.
You can do whatever you want. You can change it. You can stick with the Queen of Hearts, or you can change it.
I'll stick with Queen of Hearts.
Okay, but you can't.
I'm trying to throw you off.
It won't work.
Okay.
You can change it.
Do you want me to?
I want you to do whatever you want to do.
Queen of Hearts.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Call a friend or use a lifeline.
Survey says.
Survey says. You should get your own show. Oh, you have one. I'm on it. So you said...
Queen of Hearts.
Watch closely. This is so cool. Okay? I'm going to do this really slowly. Okay? As I spread through...
Am I supposed to keep my hand out?
You can relax. Okay. 51 face-up cards. 51 face-up cards. Look. One is face down. 51 face-up, one is face down.
Sure is.
And you said 3 of hearts?
Queen of Hearts.
I thought you said 3 of hearts. You said Queen of Hearts?
Queen of Hearts.
If that's the Queen of Hearts, that would be good, right?
Yeah.
That'd be impossible.
It would be.
I gave you chances to change your mind.
I know, you did.
You said Queen of Hearts?
Yep. Queen of Hearts it is!
Is that amazing?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that cool?
Who wants to go for the door? So how'd you do that?
Can you keep a secret?
Yeah.
So can I.
Okay. All right, so what's next? So when people are in your audience, is it important that they stand in front so they can see things? Because if you got people behind you and videotaping and things like that, it seems to make magicians uncomfortable sometimes.
I think it's better if people are in front. For some routines I do, they'll only understand what I'm presenting if they're in front. But the bolt trick, for example, people can be behind me. They can be hanging from the chandeliers. They can be they can be standing on chairs and back. Mm-hmm. But I can do that totally surrounded. So I'm very flexible and loose.
Now, do you keep the same routine mostly? Because if you have different clients all the time, then you can keep the same routine. But if you're starting to do repeats, how often do you start to bring in new material?
That's a great question. I'm always working on new material. Right now, I'm working on probably 50 new routines, 50 new tricks, routines. And I have a high bar for what I'll do, what I'm willing to do. But my clients want new material. They ask, do you have anything new?
Yeah.
Some of my clients, I've done their event for literally 25 years in a row, with the exception of COVID that year. So that's like the biggest compliment ever.
Nice.
And I tell them I have new material.
Well, we got a couple minutes left.
Okay.
Let's do another one and then get some information about you.
Awesome.
So some people can see you.
Awesome. Okay. So take the book, and I'll just show you real quick that all the pages are different, all the words are different. Take the book, pick one word, make it a long one. Short words are too hard. Make it a long one. Don't tell me what it is.
Okay.
Make sure it's a word that's easy to visualize a picture of it.
Okay.
Nice, long word, maybe 3 or more syllables.
Okay.
You could pick a different word. You could change pages.
I got one.
See, on the card trick, were you thinking I should have picked a different card after we did it? So
I would have messed you up. I would have changed it.
You won't mess me up.
All right. I got a word.
You can change it. You got it?
Yes.
Okay, close the book. Okay. You looked at the page number, didn't you?
No.
You looked at the word again?
Yes.
To make sure you'd remember it.
Not the page number, though.
Okay, good. That's good. That's good. Here we go. I need you to think about your card.
My card?
Your word, rather.
My word.
Think about your word.
1 minute.
Okay, think about your word. And I'm going to type it in to my phone. Okay. I need you to say it over and over in your mind. I'm going to try and hear your thoughts. First letter. I think I got the first letter. What's the first letter? Just the first letter.
E.
That's what I have. And then Y.
Yes.
And then, wait, I'm getting a double impression of an S. Are there?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm getting a triple. Are there 3 S's?
Maybe.
And there's a G.
Yes.
And an L.
Yeah.
And there's a vowel in your word? Yes.
Yeah.
Is your word, if I get it right, that'd be good, right?
Can we say it?
You could have picked any one of 500,000 or so words. Is your word eyeglass?
It is.
Eyeglasses. Yes.
Oh my
Yes,
God,
yes.
that's crazy.
Isn't that neat?
I was going to say handkerchief, and then because it was like right there, but then I thought that was too easy because it was right there.
Too obvious, yeah.
So I went down a little bit because I thought I was going to get you off. Well, hey, man, thanks a lot for joining us.
My pleasure.
If someone wants to contact you, what do they need to do?
My website is www.brentloewenstein.com. There's 3 E's in my last name. My phone number is 314-614-9325. And yeah.
That's it. Well, hey, thanks a lot
My
for
pleasure.
doing this, man. That was fun. So much fun. Hey, that's our show for today. We'd especially like to thank Brent and Evan, and we'd like to thank you for watching City Corner on STLTV Experience St. Louis.